An individual single-pole breaker used for an appliance or lighting branch circuit can be installed in the upper section of a split bus panel provided it does not exceed the 6-switch rule. The National Electrical Code does not prohibit the installation of individual single-pole breakers in the upper section of a split bus panel. The 6-switch rule only applies to the combined number of single-pole breakers and handle ties installed in the upper section of a split bus panel. NEC Section 408.15b addresses single occupancies. In single-occupancy dwelling units, the feeder overcurrent protective device for 120/240 volt single-phase service shall be rated not less than 100 amps. NEC Section 408.15c covers other occupancies. In other than single-occupancy dwelling units, the feeder overcurrent protective device for 120/240 volts single-phase service shall have a rating not less than the circuit amp rating multiplied by the number of circuits plus 100 amps. The 6-switch rule is intended to prevent overloading of the neutral bus in a split bus panel. When a single-pole breaker is installed in the upper section of a split bus panel, the neutral current for that circuit flows through the neutral bus in the lower section of the panel. If too many single-pole breakers are installed in the upper section of a split bus panel, the neutral bus can become overloaded. The 6-switch rule is not intended to apply to individual single-pole breakers used for appliance or lighting branch circuits. The neutral current for these circuits is typically much smaller than the neutral current for general-purpose branch circuits. As a result, there is no risk of overloading the neutral bus when individual single-pole breakers are used for appliance or lighting branch circuits. Let's delve into the details of split bus panels and breaker installation, focusing on the NEC regulations and the rationale behind them. The term split bus panel refers to a type of electrical panel where the main overcurrent protective device is located within the panel itself rather than in a separate enclosure. These panels typically have two sections or buses: the upper bus, which usually contains the main breaker or a series of breakers that serve as the main disconnect, and the lower bus, which houses the branch circuit breakers. The 6-switch rule, also sometimes referred to as the Rule of 6, is a provision in the NEC that limits the number of overcurrent devices that can serve as the main disconnecting means for service. This rule is particularly relevant in split bus panels because it affects how the main disconnect is configured. Specifically, the NEC states that a service disconnecting means shall consist of not more than 6 switches or 6 circuit breakers mounted in a single enclosure, or in a group of separate enclosures. This means that the total number of breakers in the upper section of a split bus panel that can serve as the main disconnect cannot exceed 6. The primary reason for this rule is to ensure that occupants can quickly and easily disconnect all power to a building or dwelling unit in the event of an emergency. By limiting the number of main disconnects, it simplifies the process of shutting off the power and reduces the risk of confusion or delay. However, the 6-switch rule does not prohibit the installation of individual single-pole breakers in the upper section of a split bus panel, provided that these breakers are not serving as the main disconnecting means. This means that you can install single-pole breakers for individual appliance or lighting branch circuits in the upper section of the panel, as long as the total number of breakers that serve as the main disconnect does not exceed 6. The NEC also addresses the rating of feeder overcurrent protective devices, which are the breakers that protect the feeder supplying power to the panel. According to NEC Section 408.15, the feeder overcurrent protective device for a 120/240 volt single-phase service in a single-occupancy dwelling unit shall be rated not less than 100 amps. This requirement ensures that the panel has sufficient capacity to handle the loads in a typical dwelling unit. For other occupancies, such as commercial buildings or multi-family dwellings, the feeder overcurrent protective device shall have a rating not less than the circuit amp rating multiplied by the number of circuits plus 100 amps. This calculation takes into account the increased load demands of these types of occupancies. One of the main concerns with split bus panels is the potential for overloading the neutral bus. The neutral bus is the conductor that carries the return current from the branch circuits back to the source. In a split bus panel, the neutral current for circuits served by breakers in the upper section of the panel flows through the neutral bus in the lower section of the panel. If too many single-pole breakers are installed in the upper section of a split bus panel, the neutral bus can become overloaded, which can lead to overheating and potentially a fire hazard. However, the 6-switch rule is not intended to apply to individual single-pole breakers used for appliance or lighting branch circuits. The neutral current for these circuits is typically much smaller than the neutral current for general-purpose branch circuits, which supply power to a variety of outlets and appliances throughout the building. As a result, there is generally no risk of overloading the neutral bus when individual single-pole breakers are used for appliance or lighting branch circuits. To summarize, the NEC permits the installation of individual single-pole breakers in the upper section of a split bus panel, provided that the total number of breakers serving as the main disconnect does not exceed 6 and that the neutral bus is not overloaded. When installing breakers in a split bus panel, it is important to follow all applicable NEC regulations and to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. Firstly, always ensure that the total number of overcurrent devices serving as the main disconnecting means does not exceed 6. This includes any breakers in the upper section of the panel that can be used to shut off power to the entire dwelling unit or building. Secondly, verify that the feeder overcurrent protective device is properly sized for the load. The rating of the feeder breaker should be based on the calculated load of the circuits served by the panel in accordance with NEC requirements. Thirdly, be mindful of the potential for overloading the neutral bus. While individual single-pole breakers for appliance or lighting circuits are unlikely to cause a problem, it is still important to ensure that the neutral bus has sufficient capacity to handle the anticipated load. Consider the ampacity of the neutral conductor and the potential for unbalanced loads on the panel. Fourthly, properly label all breakers in the panel. Clear and accurate labeling is essential for identifying the circuit served by each breaker and for troubleshooting any electrical problems. Fifthly, use appropriate wiring methods and connections. All wiring connections in the panel should be made using approved methods and materials, and all connections should be properly tightened to ensure good electrical contact. Sixthly, inspect the panel regularly. Periodic inspections can help identify any potential problems such as loose connections, damaged wiring, or signs of overheating. Seventhly, if you are not comfortable working with electrical panels, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to have the necessary knowledge and skills to do the job safely. Regulations and codes can change. Stay updated with the latest versions of the NEC and any local amendments or interpretations. Local authorities may have specific requirements that go beyond the national code. Regarding the 6-switch rule within the context of split bus panels, it is crucial to understand its specific application to ensure compliance and safety. While it's permissible to have single-pole breakers for specific appliances or lighting circuits in the upper section without automatically violating the rule, the core principle is about limiting the number of actions needed to disconnect all power. In scenarios where the split bus panel is the service equipment, the rule applies directly to the number of breakers that can disconnect the entire service. If the split bus panel is a sub-pole fed from a main service disconnect located elsewhere, the 6-switch rule technically doesn't apply to the sub-pole itself, but the sub-pole must still comply with all other applicable requirements of the NEC. It's also important to differentiate between handle ties and multi-pole breakers. A handle tie is used to simultaneously disconnect multiple single-pole breakers, effectively counting them as one disconnecting means for the purpose of the 6-switch rule, if they disconnect ungrounded conductors of a circuit. Multi-pole breakers, on the other hand, are designed to disconnect multiple poles simultaneously within a single device and are counted as one disconnecting means. In split bus panels, the physical arrangement and marking of the breakers become important for safety and clarity. It must be immediately obvious which breakers serve as the main disconnecting means. Clear labeling is essential to identify the function of each breaker, including those that serve as the main disconnect and those that serve individual circuits. The NEC also requires that the service disconnecting means be suitable for the available fault current. This means that the breakers used as the main disconnect must have a sufficient interrupting rating to safely clear any fault current that may occur in the system. Proper grounding and bonding are critical for the safe operation of any electrical system, including split bus panels. The grounding electrode conductor must be properly sized and connected to the grounding electrode system, and all metallic parts of the electrical system must be bonded together to create a low impedance path for fault current. The neutral bus in a split bus panel must be properly sized to carry the maximum unbalanced neutral current. This is especially important in panels that serve a large number of single-pole circuits, as the imbalanced neutral current can be significant. Consider the impact of new technologies and energy-efficient appliances on electrical loads. The increasing use of LED lighting and energy-efficient appliances can reduce the overall load in the electrical system, but it is still important to ensure that the panel has sufficient capacity to handle the anticipated load. The electrical system should be inspected periodically by a qualified electrician to ensure that it is in good condition and that it complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Inspections can help identify any potential problems before they become serious hazards. Finally, keep accurate records of all electrical work that is performed on the system. This includes the installation of new breakers, the replacement of existing breakers, and any other modifications to the electrical system. Accurate records can be helpful for troubleshooting problems and for ensuring that the electrical system is properly maintained. To reiterate the safe installation of single-pole breakers in split bus panels, always adhere to the NEC, especially the 6-switch rule. The inspector's concern likely stems from ensuring that the panel remains compliant with these safety regulations. Remember that the key is the total number of main disconnects, not the presence of individual circuit breakers.